Welcome to your Daily Dopamine with Dr. Joe McCullough, where we deliver daily doses of education, entertainment, and inspiration. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. Oh, yeah.
Yes. So is the sound working now? Somebody give me a thumbs up if we have sound. I'm assuming we do since we have. All right. So what'd you think of that new introduction? That's my latest Fiverr purchase. Pretty cool. 15 bucks. Okay. So what are we talking about today? Yay, sound. Today is going to be kind of quick. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but wanting to give you a preview and talk a little bit about speed reading. So today we're talking about how to double your reading speed. How to double your reading speed. Most people read about 200, 250 words per minute. What I'm going to share with you is 5 strategies to bump that up to, let's say, 450, 500 words per minute. This is something I used to teach to teenagers in something called Super Camp, and I taught a one day. It was about 6 hours, and I taught some of this material. I'm modifying it for what I'm presenting to you, but most students doubled their reading speed. So what I'm going to go through today is 5 barriers to reading faster. Come by next scope for yours. Periscope. I gotta love it. Bobber, I've been checking out your scopes, man. I love them. And actually, I want to talk to you at some point about how you do the moon stuff. It's pretty cool. Okay, so today we are talking about barriers to reading faster. I'm going to go through 5 barriers to reading faster. And then tomorrow I'm going to give you strategies for overcoming these barriers, 3 strategies. Thursday, I'm going to do the other 2 and do a little recap. So the very first barrier to reading faster is what's called sub-vocalization. This is when you say the words to yourself internally as you're reading. And the reason that this slows down reading is because then you can only read as fast as you can speak, or at least as fast as you can speak internally. So the key to getting rid of this is stop sub-vocalizing. And it takes practice, and I'll go through some strategies how to do that. But first strategy, or first barrier, sub-vocalization, saying the words along to yourself internally as you're reading. That limits your reading speed to how quickly you can say words to yourself and speak, which is on the order of 300 or 400 words per minute. Barrier number 2, reading one word at a time, also fixation. What we'll talk about is the eyes constantly bounce back and forth as you're reading, and they have to fixate, to have to stop and fixate on something in order to read it. And if you're reading one word at a time, let's say you're reading a line that has 10 words, then if you fixate 10 times, that's going to slow down your reading speed. So what you want to do is try and read in blocks of 3 to 4 words. The other reason this is important is because we understand words, their meaning, in blocks. So if I said up the creek without a paddle, up the creek without a paddle. Reading one word at a time, you have to try and synthesize all the information. But if I read up the creek without a paddle, then I can get those blocks of words and instantly understand the meaning. Okay, so 3. Barrier number 3 to reading faster is rereading or regression. Excuse me. Reading back over what you've already read. One of the things we're going to talk about is actually using your finger as a visual guide to guide your eyes, and it helps prevent regression. So those are the big 3. Eliminating those big 3 barriers can pretty much double your reading speed. Carol Canada, welcome. Okay, so again, what we're talking about is how to double your reading speed. Again, excuse me, I'm kind of hoarse. How to double your reading speed. How to go from about 200 to 250 words per minute, which is the average adult reading speed, to 400 or 500 words per minute, even 600 words. Today I'm talking about the 5 barriers to reading faster. The first 3. Texas, now I can hear you. Yes, sorry about that. I have no idea what happened. All I did was, actually I don't know, I just restarted Periscope. Okay, so the big 3 barriers to reading faster. Oh, that's 4 and 5. Sorry about that. Let me get back to this. Big 3, sub-vocalization, reading along, saying the words to yourself internally as you're reading. Hi from Philadelphia. Hey, that's where I was born. grew up in Delaware. Welcome. Barrier number 2, reading one word at a time. What you want to do is start reading in blocks of 3 or 4 words at a time. Barrier number 3, rereading or regression. It's going back and rereading entire phrases, sentences that you've already read. Okay, 2 more barriers, and that'll be it. 4 is reading in a non-optimal state. MEP, that stands for mental, emotional, and physical. Mental, emotional, physical. Those 3 states. Sorry, I got in teacher mode. Hand motion for everything. We've got 3 states. They're all connected. We've got mental, emotional, physical. Change 1, change all 3. I'll talk about that more later. But reading, love it. Thank you, Carol. Reading when you're in a non-optimal state is just going to decrease comprehension and reading speed. Think of it this way. Any athlete, hi from Boston, any athlete or musician knows how important it is to warm up before a big event, before a big performance. Not many people think about warming up their brain before sitting down to study, before taking a test, or even before reading. Simply getting in the right mental, emotional, and physical state can increase comprehension, can increase your reading speed. It's kind of like pre-warming the neurons, like a game or debate, exactly. And then barrier number 5 is not using your peripheral vision. What we'll talk about is if you're focusing on every single word one at a time, that takes more time than if I can start to use my visual. You're doing good. I need you as my reading teacher. Thank you. If you can focus on a couple words, 3 or 4 words at the same time, like I said before, you're reading in blocks, and one way of doing that is using your peripheral vision. Okay, that's it for today. I'm, like I said, feeling a little under the weather. Today's going to be quick. What we're talking about is how to double your reading speed. This is part 1 of a 3-part series. Part 2 will be Tuesday. Part 3 will be Thursday. Wednesday taking a break because Wednesday's Ask a Physicist Anything. 2 things we'll be covering is the physics of interstellar and quantum entanglement. I need you as my life coach. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the hearts and thank you for those joining. My name is Joe, and today I'm going to quickly recap 5 barriers to reading faster. And then Tuesday and Thursday, we'll talk about how to get over those barriers so you can double your reading speed. Woohoo! Okay, barrier number 1, subvocalization, where you're reading along in your head, saying the words out loud, but internally. Bad, that limits your speed to how quickly you can talk. 2, reading one word at a time. We want to start to try and read in blocks of 3 or 4. 3, rereading, also called regression. We want to read everything once and understand it the first time, not have to reread. 4, reading in a non-optimal state. Think about actually preparing your mind, your emotion, and your physical state to take in information to read. And then 5th but not least, not using your peripheral vision. We'll talk about how to start to train yourself to read 2 or 3 or 4 words at a time. Okay. Thank you so much for those of you joining. My name is Joe. I'm on here every day. Today, Tuesday and Thursday, we're talking about how to double your reading speed. I appreciate you checking me out, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow. If you enjoyed this and you're not following, please follow me or consider sharing this with your followers. Trap yourself in the story. Yes. Thank you, Dr. Joe. Carol, you are very welcome. Again, thank you for everybody joining, and I will see you tomorrow.